The South Florida Sun Sentinel runs a column where readers can write in and get advice from a real estate pro, kind of like a townhouse version of Dear Abby. But the column found itself in an unexpected position recently when a reader going by the name of Margie wrote in saying that her homeowners association is allegedly trying to ban guns in the neighborhood, even in people's own homes. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we are outside in front of the brick wall again today because Mama is running solo and has to watch a Liberty toddler hang out, and apparently we are shelling these okra seeds out of the pods and dumping them in a bowl of water right now. But you know what? It means that Mama gets to record her video. Hopefully you are also enjoying the teenagers down the way that have just now decided to start working on their car with its very loud exhaust system. Perfect timing. They have been gone somewhere else all afternoon and have just kicked it on right now. So we're doing great. Oh. And this is what we're playing with right now. Making some soup. Here you go. Since our story today features sunny Florida, so does our sponsor. Blackout Coffee Company is a small batch roaster based in Florida where everything from their French vanilla to their Firearms Policy Coalition partner roast is roasted fresh to order. As you can tell, they're not just passionate about coffee and tea, they're also passionate about the Second Amendment. To get your batch today and help support the channel, go to blackoutcoffee.com/libertydoll. Gary Singer's Ask a Real Estate Pro column is typically behind a subscriber paywall, but for some reason, this one isn't, and boy, are we in for a treat. He's a real estate lawyer that covers topics like real estate contracts, leases, or how to legally deal with an ornery neighbor, but on Thursday, he got in this question. Our homeowners association is considering banning guns everywhere in the community, including in the residents' homes. Many of the residents are upset about this, while others are in favor of it. Is the association even able to enact this rule? Now, it's entirely possible that Miss Margie is writing in about a hypothetical, but that would still mean that someone is thinking about it somewhere, and is a perfect example of why I chose to live somewhere where almost all my neighbors are cows, with the exception of those noisy teenagers. HOAs are notorious for busybody bullcrap between wine mom Karens, and this certainly would fit the bill, so I am not putting it past them. Singer's response is careful and measured. He noted Heller and even provided a quote from the decision. He also argued that it may be possible for the HOA to ban guns in common areas, even if it's not necessarily enforceable, but then noted that that could open the HOA up to liability if there is a crime, because banning guns implies that the HOA would be taking the onus of security upon themselves. Now, if only every other gun-free zone worked that way, then maybe we would have less of them. He wrote, "This is the type of question that attorneys will disagree about. In my opinion, enacting this rule would overstep the board's authority and not be enforceable. Without getting into the politics of firearm ownership, the law is well settled that people can keep firearms in their home. The Supreme Court sees the right to keep a gun in your home for self-defense as a fundamental right. Your association cannot put other restrictions, such as requiring guns to be kept unloaded, since this makes it impossible for citizens to use them for the core lawful purpose of self-defense and is hence unconstitutional, as stated by Justice Scalia in the landmark Heller case on the issue. If someone can legally own a firearm, the association cannot restrict them from keeping the gun in their home. The issue of whether carrying guns in the community's common areas is more complicated, since private owners can restrict others from bringing firearms onto their property. Also, there are certain places where people who can otherwise legally carry firearms are restricted, such as schools and courthouses. Some lawyers believe that a community association can restrict firearms on common property, while others point out that owners have an ownership interest in the common areas. If your community feels it has a particularly good reason to restrict concealed carry in a common area, it should still proceed cautiously. First, it may open itself to an expensive lawsuit by disagreeing owners. Second, this type of rule can prove challenging to enforce given the hidden nature of carrying a gun concealed. Finally, it can be argued that by restricting residents' ability to defend themselves, the association is taking that responsibility onto itself. This can lead to problems if a resident becomes a victim of a crime if the community does not take adequate steps to provide security. He concludes that due to all the sticky areas, the issue of gun control is one better left to the government. Frankly, I don't think the issue should be left up to anyone aside from what citizens allow in their own private homes and private businesses, but nevertheless, it's a pretty good response from someone whose legal scope is real estate and not constitutional issues. This just goes to show how deep the anti-gun sentiment is entrenched even in areas like Florida. If you don't live in Florida and you don't live in an HOA and you don't live in this HOA, you might consider this story to be a non-issue. But I think it's a great example of how far anti-gun folks will go to enforce their agenda, even going so far as to try to control what people can have in their own homes, even though they like to say that they don't want people in their homes or bedrooms. Apparently that's only with the issues they like. Certainly, if there's any HOA that wants to do this and bumps up against actual gun owners, there would be a legal crap storm to pay. I don't think they'd be able to do it. But again, it's a situation where it's the thought that counts. So let's all just sit back, relax, and wait to see if a gun banning HOA shows up in the news. All right, folks, thanks for sticking it out with me on this one, again in front of the brick wall of doom. Not really. I know last time you guys said that you actually kind of liked it, but it's not the best filming conditions here. All right, she is asking to go inside for nap time, so that's what we're gonna do. Please like, share, and subscribe if you are new here. Ring that notification bell if you want to get other Second Amendment news updates or some, I think, cool history videos that are not in front of a brick wall and are in an actual studio that I put together. Comment down below for the algorithm powers that be, and as always, thanks for tuning in and happy shooting.